Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. Normally I want to be working on my fuel pump issue with my Le Mans, but I've got to deal with my Jeep TJ, which has died on me as I was driving. So what I'm having to do right now is go pick it up. So let's get to it. Here we go. The hard part's going to be the fact that we're on a court and I got to go down there and turn it all the way around. Got her turned around. My wife's helping me drive. This is the only major road I've got to be on right here, and then it's just side streets all the way home. Hotter than normal. She's not happy with this. The Jeep's about 4,000 pounds back there, but we're doing it. Alright, just so you can see what I'm dealing with. Yeah, my daughter and I were headed out to get some dinner and just kid died on me on the way there. So I managed to pull off onto that side street and had to wait till the next day to get my wife to be able to help me tow it basically back to my house. So now I have a feeling I know what it is, but now I got to figure out what's going on and see if I can fix it. I'd much rather be working on my Le Mans or the truck, but no. So time to tackle the issue with the Jeep. Wrenchy says this is going to suck. Why is it going to suck, Wrenchy? Because it's 9,000 degrees out here. I put it off yesterday because it's just so hot, like 98. Anyway, starting a little bit in the morning, so it's not quite as crazy, but I need to figure out what's going on. So I had said I think I know what's wrong. Sort of need to test it to figure it out to make sure, but if a car's not running, it's air, fuel, spark. I know it's got air. I'm pretty sure it's got air, and so it's either fuel or spark. I don't think it's a fuel issue. I think it actually is a spark issue, because the only thing I've done to this Jeep is, at least as far as the spark goes, I replaced the spark plugs and I replaced the ignition rail, the coil rail, and of course I used a part that's not Mopar or specifically for the Jeep, like an NGK, and I think that thing may have died on me. So what the only way I can think of to test it is to put the old one back in. Again, this is something that I picked up and tried, but I kept the original coil pack, so the coil rail, and so I'm going to see if I can put this back in, and that does get it started back up. Then I know that that was a problem, because it's another cheap, stupid, crappy part that didn't last very long. I think maybe a year. Guess where it's made? Made in China. Good job, Tim. Okay, so here's the coil pack that I put in. I'm gonna take it off. And I gotta tell you, the one thing that scares me most about doing this is this back here. This is so hard to get off, this little clip. And there's no room, and it's just so not fun. Not looking forward to trying to get that and sweating like crazy while I do it. But get these off. I think these are 14 mil. $13. Alright, so I got the little red thing pulled out. You can see what it looks like there. It just has to be pulled up so you can unhook. Alright, managed to get it unhooked. Let's put the old one back in. So I'm going to plug that back in. So I'm going to plug this back in, and yeah, you can see you've got to pull out the red piece, push down on this while you're pulling on it. Whew. The key part is getting the spark plugs aligned. And then pushing it down on. Yeah, I'm not dripping sweat or anything. It's not too hot out here at all. It's fine. It's fine. Before I started it back up, I wanted to actually run the scans, see if there's anything else maybe going on that I don't know about. So I'll check these numbers and see what's going on. Okay, so I only had 6 codes. I'm gonna look these up. I know what the 0138 is. That is the O2 sensor, which is not even hooked up. But 0353, 5251, 204, and 304. I'm going to check those out before I try to start this up. What do you know? 0351, 2, and 3. Ignition coil, cylinder 1, 2, and 3. And 4 was already giving me issues. So yeah, fun. It was that coil pack, I think. Yeah, so what that means is 3 out of the 6 coil packs in the rail failed. She don't work so well when she does that. Let's see if it starts up. The coil pack that I took out was one of those things where I thought it was like maintenance, you know? Change out the spark plugs, see if the coil rail helps. So this worked when I took it out. So if this doesn't work, I'm pretty sure there's another problem, but fingers are crossed. No, that wasn't it. Darn it. Wonder what else it could be. I don't know. Okay, before I started buying lots of parts that I wasn't sure if that was going to fix the problem, I checked the fuse box. 20 amp fuse is blown. Let's try that. Okay, I don't have any minis on me. But I did notice there was a 10 where there should be a 20 for the O2 sensor. So I took the horn off, put it down here, replaced that, and put another 20 from the fog lights into the O2 sensor. So let's see if that was our problem. That was it. Start it up. Alright, so now the only issue I've got is whether or not that fuse blows again. right, so I just drove it around 20 minutes, good solid driving time. Nothing happened, but I'm gonna check the codes again, see if it's still throwing those same codes. I did unhook the battery before I tested all this, hooked it back up. Hopefully that could clear some of the stuff. If not, I'm gonna see if I can re-clear it on the scanner, which it usually never lets me clear on this cheap little scanner. All right, got it set up. Look at that. No codes. All right, so I don't know if I've solved the problem, but I at least got it started again. That's half the battle, I think. At least I figured out that there was a fuse issue. I am going to get a couple of 20s and test drive this thing around a lot to see if it happens again. At least I know I can drop another 20 back in and get home. Because yeah, you don't want to get stuck anywhere. And honestly, that's the scary part, is just not being able to get home. And luckily it was within driving distance. So short little video, just kind of wanted to solve this problem because this came up and I had to deal with it. I had to get this thing home and see what was going on. So not my typical content, Jeep stuff, but yeah, I do need to figure out what's going on with the fuel pump on my Le Mans. That is next, and that is my July 4th weekend. I got to take care of that. So I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe if you're not already. If you could, leave me a comment down below if you have questions or suggestions, especially about this P03, 1, 2, and 3 issue. It can be so many different things. It can be the coil pack. It can be the camshaft, crankshaft sensors. It could be the ECU, PCM, whatever you call it. I mean, there's so many different things. This has got about 161,000 miles on it. It's a 2004 4.0. And the O2 sensors have been causing me issues too. One is not plugged in, so that can cause problems. But that said, thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time.